Welcome back, everybody. I'm the Dr. Bob Lee, and our next guest is the Director of School Partnerships and Programs at DreamYard. And today, she's going to be discussing her organization's inspiring our youth through the arts while working to push the message of racial equality. Please welcome Moriah Carlson. Welcome to the show.
Hi, Bob. Thanks so much for having me.
Yes. You know, we watch everybody's background on this new social messaging thing that we do, and you know, everybody's stuck in their homes, and this is a new thing, and you get a chance to see everybody's home. You can see my records here, and I can see your beauty in the background. Well, thanks for being on the show.
No worries.
Tell us about the partnerships and programs of DreamYard.
Yeah, so DreamYard is a nonprofit arts and ed organization. We've been in the Bronx for 25 years. We only work in the Bronx, and we work with around 40 different schools, partnering with them to embed social justice and art education into their curriculum. So we have 40 professional artists in a variety of different mediums that partner with classroom teachers to basically bring art into the curriculum, engage young people through the arts, but using that to really kind of like delve into social justice issues, identity, race, equity.
Well, you know, schools are going to be opening remotely on the 16th and brick and mortar on the 21st. How are you guys preparing at this particular time?
Yeah, I feel like the spring was a real sort of cold water splash in the face, and I think we learned a lot around how young people engage with remote learning. We have a lot of questions about what differentiation looks like with remote learning. And so we kind of gathered up those questions and kind of looked at the way that the DOE had functioned for young people historically, but also made very obvious in the pandemic.
Yeah.
And we feel like basically we're going to go in trying to fill the gap with where the institution, the education institution fails young people, especially young people of color. So specifically, practically, we're going to use a really fantastic, highly produced series of pre-recorded videos made with our teaching artists and our fantastic documentarian, David Flores. And then we're going to live stream as an accompaniment into the class. Yeah, with the classroom teacher. So great. We've been doing live streaming for a long time with our poetry program. We do slams between schools, and they're all video conferenced in.
Yeah. But so you guys are already prepared for this. You're in it. You know how to do this.
There's also a tiny window that I see opening around. I mean, it's always been there, but since the protests in June, since the pandemic, I feel like principals, the DOE, stakeholders have their ear to the ground on what racial equity could look like in our schools. Yeah. And we're really using that as a moment to kind of ask for the most. So we're looking to partner with schools this year on having people in the building that are racial equity arts liaisons. Yeah. We're calling the real team. And those folks, it's like we're entrusting them with the racial equity training and trying to really embed into the curriculum issues around racial equity and kind of trust them with the education of our young people of color.
How does that look, racial equality? What are some of the things that you're doing to make that happen?
It's a spectrum. It starts with just understanding the context of racism. It moves into understanding language and vocabulary around racial oppression and policies. It then moves into understanding how to build visions for hope of the future. Then it you know, kind of like the big leagues are trying to figure out with your school, with your administration, what your racial equity plan is going to look like at your school. So it actually means that as a community, you create sort of a prime, if you were, like a series of questions that you would ask yourself to make sure you're adhering to really truly giving young people what they deserve, making sure families have access and equity to young people's education, but also the resources and things that schools provide, kind of examining those in a little bit more of a detailed way. You know, kids go to school for food, they go to school for social services. Families rely on these school buildings, and I think sort of like uncovering that system is going to help people be able to sort of say where they want the power to lie.
Yeah.
So it's a process.
I love it.
Process.
It is, and I sense that you may be tight walking a little bit. You don't want to dump on anybody, but school is school, and that's what, you know, this is what we have to do. But you're doing a number of things, and you've been doing it for some time now. Tell us when you started this and how it all got put together.
DreamYard being 25 years old was, I guess now it's 26-year-old. So over a quarter of a century. It was started by two executive directors, Jason Duchin and Tim Lord. And it was really it was a series of theater explorations that talked about how young people could really own and tell their own story. Since then, it's grown to art forms like music production, every type of dance, poetry, spoken word, visual art, obviously, but also like we foray into technology with our maker program. And so it's built school by school, relationship by relationship. Some of the schools we've worked with for almost 20 years. So
if the school wants to get involved, if they want to get involved with you, how do they qualify? What do they have to do?
Well, they can use their budget to hire us, which means a teaching artist goes in and works with the classroom teacher. We work with the classroom teacher all year. So it's not just like a small snippet, it's a 30-week residency, we call it. Generally speaking, they use their DOE budget to contract us, but we have sources, individual and also grant funding that can
offset some of that, or supplement.
Not to mention what we provide to the schools around supplies and tech, as well as the teaching artist salary. That what our contract amount is supplemented by all of those other sources. But that's you don't have to apply to DreamYard. You just either we're going to ask you if you want us, or you're going to be
exactly. All right.
My kids need art, and they need art to thrive, and so that generally is how the relationship starts.
Any success stories? Anybody come back and want to be a part of it and or help you with the program?
It's really interesting. We have what we call pathways. So young people that maybe have DreamYard in kindergarten or elementary school often have a DreamYard class in their middle school and often in their high school. And so the pathway continues through K through 12 and then into college. So we do have a legacy program. So college kids can be paid as interns in our programming. And then there are a number of folks that came through our out-of-school programs that are actually DreamYard employees who are, the new generation of DreamYard, which is so really, you are
hiring.
we hire. And we try to keep it in the community. Like, if you're an artist in the Bronx, come to us. If you're a student in the Bronx, come to us. We partnered with the city on this summer youth employment, and we're able to offer young people those summer internships solely in the arts.
Moriah Carlson, DreamYard, Director of School Partnerships and Programs. We appreciate all the work that you're doing in the community. Thank you for your service, and God bless you.
Thank you so much for your time. It's wonderful to talk to you, and 3 cheers for BronxNet.
There you go. Thank you so much. Have a great day. Stay safe.
You too. Thank you.
All right, we'll take a break. We've got more up next on Open.